for the last 40 years, that's exactly what's happened, is that people have moved to the right because not they weren't inspired, they were pushed into despair. And so this is a dangerous moment, and I think Bernie Sanders and AOC and the rest, they're not stepping up. Tulsi Gabbard endorsing Joe Biden, that's just the definition of not stepping up
I
to the
know.
plate.
I know. I know. I know. I know. I know. That's why I'm going scorched earth on all of them. They're all fucking feckless. They're all worthless. And what we should be telling people is this: hey, Bay Area, San Francisco, Richmond, Albany, Oakland, Berkeley, people have made an online hub for the rent strike, and the number of active strikes is growing. So go to bayareastrike.org. That's what Bernie Sanders should be doing. He should be fucking using his email to do this strategically. He's not doing anything. Here is Elizabeth Warren. She says yesterday we told Secretary Mnuchin that it was ridiculous to require Social Security recipients to file tax returns in order to receive a stimulus check. Good news. Last night he reversed that policy. This is why we've got to stay in the fight, she says. Danny, what do you... So here's what I tweeted out. I go, good news. You know that prison I just let corporate America build with $5 trillion we gave them for free while robbing you? Well, I'm going to get you a water fountain inside the prison. You're welcome, Senator Warren.
Yeah, stay in the fight, Elizabeth Warren, who stayed in it just long enough to not only get a lot of super PAC money, but also to damage Bernie Sanders' campaign to the point of no return. So she stayed in the fight, and now she is appealing to bankers in order to get just enough done so older folks don't have to apply for their taxes in order to get a stimulus check that they won't see in a couple months. And they're going to be even in worse shape than normal. But, that's a victory, I guess, when, it's a victory when things get worse.
Here's another one. Here's Bernie Sanders. This is from 11:30 a.m. today. Today, this is what he tweets out. April 2nd, the day after rent day. He's and 6.6 million Americans applied for unemployment, which means they're losing their health insurance, right? Millions more will lose their jobs in the coming weeks. In the midst of this horrific crisis, Congress must pass a new unprecedented emergency bill that guarantees income and health care for all Americans. Working on the details now. He says that today. Because I've been doing show after show and tweeting at his campaign and texting and DMing people in his campaign asking, what the fuck are you guys doing right now besides tweeting? Are you doing anything? What is your plan? I know you're not allowed to come on my show, but pretty please ask Bernie or his wife if for permission to come on my show, because I know you can't do what you want. You have to get permission, and they won't. They won't come on the show to tell, but they're now starting to tweet shit like this because I've been laying it in their fucking ass for a fucking week straight. And do you see how bullshit this is? So I tweeted this. I go, why the fuck was this not in the first $5 trillion bill that robs us all blind and cements inequality for a generation that you voted for? After you gave all your leverage away, now you're going to somehow take care of the workers? What leverage does he have right now to do that, Danny?
He doesn't have any.
And none.
And what's striking about this is that the St. Louis Federal Reserve already said that unemployment in the United States was soon going to be 30% plus. And
greater than
that
the Great
was
Depression.
Exactly. That was before the stimulus bill was pushed through. So, there's just no excuse to now that people are flooding the unemployment website and trying to get unemployment now after the stimulus bill was passed is to try to protect them. They're already unemployed, and as you said, they're losing their health insurance. All of the
he's actively fucking what does that tweet do? What is that? Now people they're desperate, they're scared, they don't have income, they don't know if to pay their credit card bill or their heating bill or their electric bill or their their health insurance bill or to pay their rent or their mortgage or their car note. They don't know what to fucking do, and Bernie Sanders is doing nothing, and he's tweeting that I'm going to do something later. Congress isn't even in session. You're a fucking asshole, and so is your campaign, filled with fucking feckless assholes. You're afraid of me. That's how I know you're a pussy and your campaign is a colossal failure. And it has been in history. This campaign is one of the biggest failures ever. And it's because you guys are fucking cowards. You couldn't even come on my show to answer a little question. And that's why Whoopi Goldberg boxes your fucking ears in and makes you look as dumb as a demented Joe Biden. You can't even out-debate Joe Biden because you're that much of a coward. The whole campaign is worthless. And you're letting us down right now. You're doing nothing. Stop tweeting and start organizing. And they won't do it. So hopefully this wakes them up. So people say that I'm a loose cannon, Jimmy Dores, whatever the fuck. You can't. So that's why I have on someone like you, who's a fucking real smarty pants motherfucker who wrote a book about this shit and writes for the Black Agenda Report. So there you go, right in your fucking asses.
Yeah, Black Agenda Report has always been about taking the risks necessary when it wasn't okay to do so. It wasn't okay to criticize Barack Obama for anything for the 8 years that he was in office. Black Americans had a hard time with it, but the entire progressive left had a really hard time with it. But yet we continue to do so because we felt that it was important to not leave workers hanging, not leave poor Black Americans hanging, not leave the whole world hanging when Barack Obama was subsidizing the military machine more than Bush, when he was literally giving $700 million to police departments worth of military weaponry, when he was doing all of these things, bailing out the banks in the trillions, when he was pushing through the Affordable Care Act, which was a giveaway to corporate insurance and pharmaceutical industries. We didn't stand back and say, well, it's just not time yet. We need to organize a political campaign that's progressive like Bernie Sanders, and we just need to let those things happen because that's the civil thing to do. And, we're scared of what people will think of us on the progressive left. We're scared of the reaction that we'll get from the population. No, that's not what politics is about. Politics is a struggle for power. And if you're not interested in struggling for power, then you're not doing politics. You're ultimately doing careerism, maybe. Maybe you're